Yeah, all right, today we're working on my John Deere 14T square baler. I believe it was a later model, the one that I have, so the parts and things that I'm doing might vary, but they're pretty much all built the same. They had a few odds and ends difference, but nothing to really shake a stick yet. I'm going to be moving slow today because I hurt my back. So when you guys are watching this and you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll try explaining as much as I can and helping you out in your situations. I've been baling for too long and I've rebuilt too many of these square balers. They're not as hard as you think. People just make them harder than they are. I know this isn't alcohol. Drinking gets you in a jail cell faster. I don't believe in drinking. So without further ado, let's come on over here to the knotters. Now, these are the knotters, all right? And it's all junked up and I left the hay bale in the chute. You should never do that. That's the bad part about these older bales are the last one you got to undo a bunch of crap to pull it out. I hate it. I wish you would have fixed it, but this is from like the 1950s and 60s. So anyway, what you got here are your two sets of knotters. Everybody square bales knows the horrors of these things. You don't stick your fingers near them. You don't do anything when it's running. I've seen too many kids and young men and adults that rip their hands off of these things. So anyway, here's the right one and here's the left one. All this crap you see build up around here is it's moly grease. I use moly grease because it's extremely thick, and when you rub up against it, it still is greasy. It doesn't dry out as easy. Moly grease also takes a beating for the parts that you put the grease on. So to undo these knotters, it's not hard at all. These were the really good, simple design. You have one retaining ring right here, or not a ring, excuse me, it's a bolt. And once you undo that, this whole thing wants to start coming undone. But I got the I guess the lever actuator arm for the bale counter. So I got to get my pliers that are right here. I take these off pretty simply. I don't really reuse old hardware. I've had that almost kill me in the past, and I learned a valuable lesson that you just get new hardware. It's more expensive and harder to do, and you don't like finding the parts, get packs of whatever. Oh, come on, you piece of crap. There. Now it should flip right up like this. Ow. Gotta be careful you don't bug your hands out. Trying to, there's one more piece that I think you just, oh, you know what? That's why. There it goes. Cool. Now, you got your knife swiper arm here, and you got your bill hook. Now, the way that these work was it was one solid piece, and I'll take it all apart in a minute to show you guys. But this bill hook, if it didn't have a high enough, I guess, swiper on the arm where it would come across and cut the string, and it would remove the twine all in one, it would just skip over it. Sometimes it would catch it, sometimes it wouldn't. So if you have bales that are sometimes tying and sometimes not, you either have a really dull knife and or it's a combination of a swiper on the bill hook, not grabbing the string or twine, whatever the hell you use, and it knocks it off. So we're going to come back on down here. All right. And then, come on now. There is, you can't see because there's so much moly grease, but right in there is where uh, the nut retaining ring and all that stuff is at. So I'm going to clean this out and it's right down here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you once I fast forward the video. All right, so had this small little, that's a shim washer. It's not really a washer. It's designed to stop slack. And then I had this stupid retaining pin. So I think there's another one too. Yeah, there's multiple of these shims. You go on the top, and I'll kind of zoom up on that in a minute. And in theory, there it goes. The dadgum knife. These things are kind of a nightmare to get off. Give me 1 second. All right, now your bill hook slides out a lot easier than what I made it look like. Unfortunately, or not bill hook, your swiper bar. This is a swiper bar. It's got your knife. This is the shaft that it rotates on, and this is a wheel bearing that rides inside your two wheels here. They're, I guess they call them a drive wheel, but um, that still rotates pretty good. It's free of debris. I can rotate it. It sounds like metal on metal, so I'll probably have to shove some type of grease in it. I got to grease this all up, and I believe this was the culprit. I'll bring it closer to the camera, make sure you guys can see it. Um, if you look at it in just the right sunlight, I can rub my finger on it. I can feel a little bit of sharpness, but it's pretty much not cutting. I got some baling twine right here. And again, it cuts it underneath extreme amount of stress. So I'll try rubbing it. And it's cutting it, but it took 3 times. So it's not cutting it good. So I'm going to replace these. I got these knives from Green Parts Baler. They claiming I nickel plated these so they wouldn't rust as easy. I don't know if these are a direct fit. I may have to modify it, but I think they'll work. And that's what it used to look like compared to now. So you can see the amount of wear that has just been happening over the years on it. And we will replace that shortly here. All right, so I got my vise here, and I got the 2 knives here. And because I got a workbench, it's 30 times easier to do all these things than just doing it on the baler itself. I get these knives pretty sharp. So I got 2 pieces of baling twine here to show you guys. So under tension and being knotted and everything, you want a nice clean cut. You don't want the knife to pull the string out of the knot. That happens quite a lot. You want it to be a nice, clean, precise cut. So when it's under tension, which you got to be careful, these things are sharp, is it's supposed to go like that. It's supposed to cut them. And it is cutting them because, you know, it's not really tight the way that I'm doing it. Let me see if I can get it really good here. So like this. It comes down and it slides. It has a sliding action. So that cut all the way through when it was tight, but it's not tight or it's not, as sharp that I'd like it. So we're going to go ahead and make them even sharper. I'm going to get a specific file. Here we go. All right. So now when you rub twine on it, it rips right in half all day long. Just like that. So that's what I want. I'm going to get it a little bit sharper because I don't like taking these off and apart. I like to be able to just leave my baling. All right. So obviously one blade goes on each side. Make sure it's facing the right way. So the way that these cut is a flat edge, which I'll hold it like this. The knives are supposed to be like this, opposite what you think. You think it's supposed to be like that, but then it faces the wrong way. They're supposed to be facing the way of end swinging. And this is the bill hook swiper that I was talking about right here. This is what rubs on the very polished end of your bill hook and it grabs the twine and it just pulls it off. It's supposed to be a nice tight fit. I can clearly see that one side has that nice hump and it's starting to slowly erode away after a while. Usually I weld these back up flush, make a nice flush, and then I'll get a die grinder out and I'll grind it to where it's a nice round again. But I think this one's okay. It doesn't look like it's actually too bad. So I'm going to grind out the rivets, which this is the hardest part about the whole situation is grinding out the rivets. And then I'm going to replace it with a either another rivet, which I don't want to do that, or I'm going to replace it with a bolt. So it's all said and done. The rivets come out, everything comes out. It comes out like that. You know, you need to make sure that this is nice and flush. I still got to, make sure that's all nice and straight. But you got to get the back of the rivets out, and then I can put in specialty bolts that go in through here and they lock in place, and it's a low profile bolt. So specialty bolts that I use really aren't specialty bolts. So because I didn't really give you a close-up on it, the rivet heads on both sides pretty much are about that thickness. So one of the coolest things about today's modern technology is we have machine screws. A lot of the rivets on balers, I replace them with machine screws, but I don't replace them with any machine screw. I use stainless steel. It's never failed me before, and stainless steel here is it's a hardened metal, and if you look, it's almost identical. So it works out pretty well. And what I do with the arm is, which I put it over there, is I just stick the thinner part of the screw on top. So this is the only thing sticking out. Goes through, and then at the very bottom, I put a washer on it that's about the same thickness of the rivet as well. And it's just a nylon, lock nut. And I've never had them fail before. Now, you're going to have a lot of people that say different things, I'm sure, in the comment section. But for now, this is what I've always done, and it's never failed me once. It is right here, right there. And again, you don't want it that long because it's a pretty tight space already, but this is pretty much what it will look like. You got a thin screw pan head on top, and then you got it. I'll cut this down to about, I don't know, 1/2 inch. So this fully goes onto the threads and it locks in place. It works really well. So there you go. All right. So one thing that I meant to tell you guys too, with the system that I do it, technically taking this all apart on the machine, it's almost nearly impossible. I meant to say that earlier in the video, but let's be here or there. However, I have figured out a way to be able to get the knife on without having to take apart 3/4 of your machine to do it. So the cool part about the knotters are, with the removable knife that I, started using and doing and showing you guys is putting this back on. If you try putting it on, the knife blade with how everything lines up hits the bill hook and it never works out right. So what you do is you angle this back in there, and then you just shove it up there. Now the blade's still not on there. So then right after that, you line the blade up with the hole. Now the blade's on there, and you don't have to take this whole thing apart because there's rolling pins inside the gear to knock the gears out. They're not hard to take apart once you have them off the machine, but while they're on the machine, you can't do it. There are some newer models out there that they allow you to somehow, it's a quick snap version on and off, not with the 14T, but a lot of other ones. But anyway, I'm getting distracted with all that. I put these back on. And again, these are very small pan head 1024 screws that are machine screws that are stainless steel, so they're hardened. And once I get these both on, so when this goes all the way down, in fact, you can actually even see it, how it activates right there. As it's coming across, you can see that there's nothing that's going to hit. You want something low profile. I use pan heads because it's the lowest profile that you can get. Now, to jack this back up, it's a kind of a crummy part, is you have to make sure that shaft, what you just did it now, doesn't come out when you tip it down, and it stays in line the whole way up. Otherwise, it becomes a nightmare. Kind of like what I just did for myself just now. So, all right. There it goes. Oh, no, it's not. There it goes. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, it's all trigonometry with all this stuff in here. So then I go ahead and tighten this stuff back. And there can't be hardly any play in that bill hook. So you have to make sure that when you put the shims on, that it is the same exact tension as it was before. You can't substitute it at all. And you can kind of cheap out here. You don't have to put the pin through the hole as far as you you twist it up. You just need to get it in there to where it's secured. So now when you lift this up, you can see how it rides down, and we have about that thickness of clearance. Now these are razor sharp, so you don't want to, get your fingers anywhere near that knife. So I'm pulling it up here, and you can see at a better angle that you can feel that's really hard. It's rubbing just up against the bill hook, but not enough to where it's going to rub off a large quantity or gouge it. And I have your twine pullers here. Goes on a cam right here. You can see that if I activate the lever, it grabs the twine and it helps make it. This has a lot of play in it, so that also is one of the reasons why not bales, but balers will miss ties too. Is not only if it's a bad knife. I mean, this all has to work perfectly together. Usually, it's not a bill hook that goes bad. It's either the knife, which I can even show it to you on this side. It's either the knife itself or this piece that rubs on the bill hook. And you can see that that's how it's called a swiper as well, and it swipes it right off the bill hook when you have it twine. So that's one of the main reasons why they can fail too, by not tying correctly. But usually it's a loose connection. They generally, when they fail, those parts fail. It's a catastrophic. This breaks, something goes haywire, the bill hook gets damaged. If you use moly grease, I don't know if I said that earlier. Moly grease is all that I use my balers. Yeah, it makes them look all gross and corroded, but it's all grease. So when you just wipe it, it comes right off from your fingers. I put grease on the pinion gears. I put grease in the fittings. I put moly grease all over this because I want the thickest grease to also make up for the play if the shims don't get it. And it works perfectly every time. My left side never fails. And one of the reasons why that doesn't hardly ever fail is because it doesn't have this play. If I grab this other one, it's rock solid. So I got to get a new one of those before I bale again, because I'm getting tired of having hand tie bales at once every 10 bales or twice every 2 bales. It's horrible. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's how I do it with a knife swiper arm. As I replace it is the old knives will get in the way. If you can kind of bend the knife a bit and get it out, it comes out easy. Or if you just snap the knife off, because you're going to replace it anyway. It doesn't really matter. But that's one of the coolest parts about this style is, and that's got some play in it. I don't like it, but it should be enough. You want some play for it to be able to go over the bill hook. But other than that, it's nothing too fancy. And once again, to take apart these knotters and rebuild them, the hardest part about the knotters when it comes to anything, when it comes to baling, is making sure it's all fitting right. So what a lot of people do is they just put new parts in it, put it on the machine, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's still screwing up. The thing's a junk, something's wrong, blah, 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 blah. It's because they don't shim it right. If you don't have, if you can see, anything that I'm grabbing, there is no play at all. So it's all shimmed correctly. It's all pinioned together. It's all, what are those E-pins or, shims. Like this has a shim. It's got 2 shims on top. And even then, it's got about a 1/16 of play, which is okay because I want that play, especially when it's hitting that swiper hook. Or bill hook, excuse me. But other than that, that's pretty much how that all goes. These also will be loose. That's normal. See, it's normal. If you have them super tight or if it's super hard to get in and out, you got probably some issues or something. This has been pinched. That's very common for that to happen because the needles come up through here and sometimes they somehow pinch those. I don't know how it happens, but yeah, if you have any questions in the comments or want me to explain something further, let me know.